Namaskaram. Welcome to this video where we'll be talking about the second Vedanga to understand Vedas in an appropriate way, which is called as the Vyakarana. Vyakarana in Sanskrit literally means grammar. Let's talk about the grammar to understand Vedas in this video. Vyakarana, one of the 6 Vedangas, is the rigorous study of grammar, specifically in the context of the Vedas. The term Vyakarana is derived from the Sanskrit root Vyakri, which means to analyze or to describe. This discipline is dedicated to the systematic exploration of grammatical rules and structures inherent in the Sanskrit language as utilized in Vedic texts. Its principal aim is to elucidate the precise grammatical forms, syntactical patterns, and semantic subtleties embedded in the Vedic verses, particularly in the Rig Veda, the oldest and the most revered of the Vedic scriptures. Obviously, Vyakarana will have all these. It will have the Kriya, the Sarvanam, Sanya, Vachana, Pada, Shabda, Varna, Pratyaya, Karaka, Vakya, Purusha, Linga, and so on and so forth. Vyakarana encompasses multiple facets of Sanskrit grammar, which includes phonetics, shiksha, that deals with the sounds of the language, morphology or the nirukta, that analyzes the structure and form of words, syntax or Vyakarana proper, which examines the arrangement of words and sentences, semantics or nirvachana, which studies the meanings and interpretation of words, etymology or nirukta, that investigates the origin and historical development of words. And it is to the credit of Panini that goes to the discussion of all these subtle details of Vyakarana. Because this study involves the classification of words, their inflections, declensions, conjugations, and grammatical rules governing their use in sentences. Vyakarana is grounded in several foundational texts that are known as Vyakarana Sutras, which codify the rules of Sanskrit grammar. Among these, Panini's Ashtadhyayi, as the very title suggests, Ashta is 8, Adhyayi is chapters. So Ashtadhyayi stands as the most comprehensive and authoritative treatise on Sanskrit grammar. The Ashtadhyayi is divided into 8 chapters, Adhyayas. Each further is subdivided into 4 quarters, which are called as Padas, totaling to around 4,000 sutras. The sutras are aphoristic and hence are called as aphorisms. These sutras meticulously outline the rules for number 1, morphological analysis. This includes the formation of words, including root formation, affixation, and deviation and derivation. Number 2, syntactical analysis, which talks about the structure and arrangement of words in sentences. Number 3, the Sandhi rules. Phonetic changes that occur when words combine into sentences is the most important aspect of the Sandhi. Number 4, Panini's approach in Ashtadhyayi is remarkably analytical and systematic, employing a concise notation system to represent the linguistic elements. This system, which is known as the Paninian system, allows a compact and precise representation of complex grammatical rules and has significantly influenced not only Sanskrit grammar but also modern fields like computational linguistics and formal language theory. In fact, Sigvard Saussure and his structuralism has a base in Panini's Ashtadhyayi. Panini's contributions laid the groundwork for future developments in linguistic studies both in India and across the globe, positioning the Ashtadhyayi as a cornerstone of Sanskrit grammar and broader linguistic analysis. This is the text of the Ashtadhyayi, and he is none other than the great Panini, who has titled Ashtadhyayi. Governed by the mnemonic principles, Vyakarana is also guided by the Siva Sutras. They are typically called as Shiva Sutras because it is Lord Shiva who has given these sutras. A set of mnemonic aphorisms they are that are designed to encapsulate the fundamental principles of phonetics, morphology, and syntax. These aphorisms serve as crucial tools for memorizing and applying the rules of grammar, providing a concise and systematic framework for linguistic analysis. This is the beautiful Shiva Sutra, the very first, as is given by Nandikeshwar Karika by Nandi. They are typically called as Maheshwara Sutrani, as Lord Mahesha has given it. I un rule ruk, I own, I ouch. These might look very different, but it is how the Damru of Lord Shiva has vibrated, it seems, as recorded by Nandi, from where, in fact, all the letters of the alphabet in Sanskrit and thereupon all the Indian languages come upon. I un rule ruk, I own, I ouch, hayavarat, lan, nyamagananam, jabhang, ghadadash, jabagadadash, kapa chatatau, chatatai, kapai, shasasur, hal. These are the 14 sutras based upon which we have the to aha as well as ka to bnya, that is the swar and the vyanjan in Sanskrit, and thereupon all the derived Indian languages. So you have the kanthavya sounds as a, ka, kha, ga, gha, ng. The talavya sounds e in swar and cha, cha, ja, jang, nya in vyanjan. The murdhanya sound ru as in rishi and ta, tha, da, dha, na for vyanjan. The dantavya sounds, the dantavya swar is not there in Sanskrit. The dantavya vyanjan are ta, tha, da, dha, na. The osthya sounds, osthya swar are u, and vyanjan are pa, pha, ba, bha, ma. The nasika sounds ra, The kantha talavya sounds, as you find in swar a, I, and a kantha osthya sounds, as you find in swar o, au. And then you have the antasthya kantha sound, rather ushma kantha sound ha, the antasthya talavya sound ya, the ushma talavya sound sha, the antasthya murdhanya sound ra, the ushma murdhanya sound sha, the antasthya dantya sound la, and the ushma dantya sound sa, and the final antasya dantoshtya sound va. It's in this way that we have to aha and ka to bnya in Sanskrit as well as in the Indian languages. So beautifully Panini has described all these sounds, which becomes the basis for even the Western way of analyzing these phonology. Vyakarana is indispensable for the accurate interpretation and analysis of Vedic texts. It equips scholars with the analytical tools and frameworks needed to understand the grammatical structures and syntactic conventions of Vedic verses, thus aiding in the reconstruction of ancient phonetic forms and linguistic features that are preserved in our Vedas. While Vyakarana originated as a means to study and preserve the language of the Vedas, its principles remain relevant even today. Scholars and students continue to delve in Vyakarana to deepen their comprehension of Sanskrit grammatical intricacies and to appreciate its rich literary and cultural heritage. In a sense, Vyakarana represents the systematic study of Sanskrit grammar, offering the analytical framework and technical vocabulary essential for unraveling the grammatical complexities of the Vedas. It remains crucial for those seeking to engage deeply with the ancient wisdom preserved in these sacred scriptures called Vedas. It's in this way that the Guru would be teaching all these Vyakarana rules to the Sishyas orally. Thank you very much for being a part of this video. See you in the next video. Bye for now. Namaskaram.